Disney's live-action Mulan is a film filled with strong performances, impressive action sequences, and undeniably beautiful visuals. It's the live-action adaptation of one of Disney's most beloved animated films from the 1990s, arguably one of the strongest entries in Disney's entire animated catalog. And before we go any further, let me be very clear about something. I'm not someone who believes every remake needs to be directly compared to its original. I firmly believe that each film should be allowed to exist as its own entity. But that brings us to the most important question of all. Does Mulan 2020 actually justify its own existence? Does it bring anything meaningful to the table beyond looking pretty? Before we dive in, quick spoiler warning. If you haven't seen live action Mulan yet and you care about spoilers, pause the video now, go watch it, and then come back to join the discussion. Seriously, spoils ahead? Okay, let's talk about Mulan. When Disney first announced the live-action Mulan, I was genuinely excited. The original Mulan is one of my favorite Disney films, possibly my number one. What really hooked me though was that Disney wasn't doing the usual copy and paste strategy they'd use for other live-action remakes. No musical numbers, no direct scene-for-scene recreation. Instead, they promised something different, a more grounded, serious retelling. And honestly, that's exactly the direction Disney should be taking with these adaptations. If you're going to remake the animated version beat for beat, why not just watch the original? An adaptation should never aim to perfectly replicate its source material. Otherwise, what's the point? We already have the original. What matters is preserving the identity and emotional core of the story while offering something new. Look at A Star is Born, multiple adaptations, all successful because each version reinterprets the story for its era. Now compare that to Psycho's shot-for-shot remake. Technically competent but creatively pointless. So when Disney decided to take risks with Mulan, that was a good sign. The problem isn't that Mulan changed things. The problem with the live action film is that the changes don't serve the story. One of the most obvious changes is the removal of Mushu. I understand why Disney did this. A wisecracking animated dragon doesn't exactly fit a serious war drama tone. But here's the issue. Mushu wasn't just comic relief. He was a storytelling tool. He gave Mulan someone to talk to, someone who understood her secrets, someone who challenged her decisions, and someone who added emotional texture to the journey. Without him, or at least a Mushu type presence, the film becomes relentlessly serious. And while seriousness isn't a flaw on its own, a lack of tonal variety absolutely is. Ask yourself this, did the film ever let you breathe? Did it ever allow a moment of levity or emotional contrast? Or did it feel like the same note being played over and over again? Stories need rhythm, they need highs and lows. Without that balance, even great action starts to feel hollow. Did anyone else feel like the movie was trying so hard to be serious that it forgot to be engaging? This tonal rigidity leads directly into the film's biggest problem, character development, or rather the lack of it. Mulan as a character does not change, and that's a huge issue. Change is the backbone of storytelling. Audiences connect to characters because they struggle, fail, learn, and grow. In the animated version, without directly comparing, Mulan starts off capable but flawed. She's intelligent but clumsy, brave but uncertain. Her journey is about overcoming her weaknesses. That's why her victories feel earned. In the live action version, Mulan is introduced as extraordinary almost immediately. She has immense chi. She's naturally gifted. She's better than everyone else before the journey even begins. And that decision fundamentally breaks the story. If your protagonist starts at the finish line, where is there left to go? When she wins fights, succeeds in battle, or overcomes obstacles, the audience isn't surprised or moved. We were told she would win, so why should it matter? This raises an important question. Did starting Mulan as powerful actually weaken her story? Because for me, it absolutely did. The concept of Chi removes her internal struggle. She doesn't need to grow. She doesn't need to overcome doubt or fear. She just needs to unleash what's already there, and that robs the film of emotional payoff. Now, if the film's goal was for Mulan to change the world rather than change herself, this approach could have worked. In stories where characters are meant to reshape society, they often begin already fully realized. But that wasn't Mulan's goal. Her goal was to protect her father. Changing the world was a side effect, not her motivation. So the film ends up stuck in this awkward middle ground, half personal journey, half societal revolution, with neither fully developed. This confusion extends to the villain as well. Borican is serviceable but forgettable. The real standout character is Xianniang, the witch. She's complex, conflicted, and thematically relevant. She represents what Mulan could become under different circumstances. She's a woman rejected by society for her power. The parallels are obvious and fascinating, which begs the question why she wasn't the main villain. Imagine a version of this story where Xianniang is the true antagonist using Borican as a tool. Her goal could have been to tear down the empire that oppressed her. Mulan's goal could then evolve into changing how women are treated within that society. That creates organic conflict. two women shaped by the same world choosing opposite paths. That's powerful storytelling, and the film almost gets there but then pulls back. Xianniang ends up being more of a plot device than a fully realized character, and that's such a waste. When a supporting character becomes more interesting than your main villain, that's a sign the story needs reworking. Did anyone else feel like The Witch completely stole the movie? Another issue is how much the film relies on your prior knowledge of the animated film. Certain moments feel rushed or underexplained, as if the filmmakers assumed you already knew what was happening. That's a problem. An adaptation should stand on its own. You shouldn't need homework to understand emotional beats, especially when the live action film is longer than the animated one. How do you have more runtime but less clarity? To wrap this up, live action Mulan isn't a bad film. It has strong acting, impressive action, and stunning visuals, but it misunderstands what makes stories resonate. Change isn't just about swapping animation for live action. Change is about transformation. Emotional, internal, meaningful transformation. A perfect character results in a flat story, and no amount of spectacle can fix that. I still recommend watching live action Mulan and forming your own opinion, but for me it's a film that forgot the most important rule of storytelling. And before I go, did anyone else desperately miss hearing Mulan's decision? That piece of music is iconic, and its absence was genuinely disappointing. Thanks for listening, I appreciate it.